Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a best of 5 played between Trap and Cure, starting here on 2000 Atmospheres, one of my favorite maps. I mention it every time, it's because it is my favorite map. Beautiful purple fishes. Nice little wall to start with here for Cure as well. These two players should be pretty close in skill, I think. I believe they're pretty close in skill. Cure has been showing up in a lot of these online tournaments, these smaller online tournaments I should say, because almost every tournament these days of course is online. But he has really been putting on good performance after good performance after good performance, especially in the ESL Open Cups. He's been showing up and showing us what he is capable of. Trap on the other hand has been showing up in the big Premier tournaments. Every single time there's a big tournament, especially in Korea, Trap kind of just wins it. So curious to see how these two will match up here. Cure, in my opinion, one of these very solid players that plays Terran like it's his off race. And what I mean by that is very often if you play against someone's off race, they'll show what they most dislike playing against. Like they'll be annoying, you know, they'll be blocking your nexus, they'll be proxying E-base, just everything that you find annoying to play against, they will do when they're off racing. And that's how Cure plays. Cure is extremely annoying with everything he has, with every single unit. He abuses it to the max basically, and he knows the movement, he knows the timings. His theory knowledge is absolutely insane, like when to go in with units, when to pop out, what good counters are, where the risks are. He is not afraid of risk, anything but it. But when he takes risks, they tend to be very well informed. So we have a Reaper opener coming out of Cure. We'll see what this Reaper is going to be capable of. Follow-up, of course, is going to be Marine. And, well, as it's not a reactor, it's not going to be a triple rack. So it's going to be a factory here. And Cure scouted with an SCV. What actually did he scout? Okay, just scouted for the Nexus, said, okay, I got my confirmation that this is core before Nexus, and goes home. Reaper staying at home for a little bit, looking for the probe. Now, this might have the added effect. Oh yes, this does have the added effect. Look at this. This Adept is going to move out across the map and might not realize that there's a Reaper now. Well, the probe's gonna see it though. Reaper is going to get this probe, which is a nice start here for Cure. This bunker is going to finish. I think this SCV might die. It already got hit once by a probe, which means an Adept can two-shot it. Needs to be careful though not to lose the Adept as a result of staying here. Of course the first two Marines won't finish until what 316, 317. Reaper pops into the main base. Second Adept also being sent across the map. A little bit risky out of Trap because he did see that Reaper at the watchtower. I'm a little bit confused by this. The third Adept not quite out yet. We have another probe going down. A third worker. Not gonna go down. 2 worker kills though. Not a bad start here for Cure, who also gets the full scout on the Stargate. Sees that it was a Phoenix that was being chrono boosted, and we'll see what his reaction is now. There's a couple of reactions that are viable. A lot of the Koreans have been Perfo. Actually, let's have a look at this. 2 Adepts against 3 Marines and a Hellion tends to end poorly for the man who shades in the Adepts. As we see 1 Adept going down already, 2 Marines going down, 3 Marines going down. If that Adept survives, this is an okay trade, but with that Adept going down, it's a pretty poor trade. You're losing a little bit of map control. Sees the Hellion moving across the map as well. Hellion, of course, already with a kill. Ooh, managed to juke everything. Good movement out of Cure. What I was gonna say is that a lot of the Koreans, prefer this type of style. 2, 3 low-tier, non-tech-labbed factory units, like a Hellion and 2 mines, just for defensive purposes. A single Viking into double barracks. This allows the Terran to get very fast double tech labs on these 2 structures and to push out way faster than TOS is used to. It also means that they'll have a harder time dealing with Phoenixes. So very often they give up a little bit of economy in this case. 3, 4, maybe 5 workers. Just a lot of Phoenix energy. But what they get back is a faster timing, which forces the TOS to either spend more chrono boost on upgrades or to cut workers, get faster gateways, all of these things. TOS does need to realize what's happening. Now this is the first stage. This is indeed what tends to happen is you lose a couple of workers. Same time though, this Hellion is going in. Already got 1 worker kill. I think it just got a 2nd worker kill. It's gonna get, oh my god. Well, 4 worker kills, but it had only a single kill before. So it must have gotten 5 workers somehow. Might have missed that first one. The car is going to stay alive for a little bit longer as well. We'll be able to have another scout on this third base. Maybe there's a probe hiding there. He says no, there is not. These phoenixes are still looking for damage, but even though both players have received some damage, this is much better for Cure. Cure was expected to take damage here, and the reason for that was because he took a risk. Okay, he took a risk by skipping Cyclones, by skipping a second Viking. He said, okay, I'm going to lose 3, 4, maybe 5 workers before I have enough defenses to stop your Phoenixes. But as a result, I'm going to have a very fast timing. This was included in the build. This was the risk analysis that Cure made. In the risk analysis that Trap made, nowhere did it say I'm gonna lose 2 workers to a Reaper and 5 more to a Hellion. That was not part of the build. This forces Trap to delay his gateways or to cut economy, and so far he's mainly been cutting his gateways. He doesn't have a lot of gateways. He's getting the added extra gateways now, which would be fine if his opponent opened Cyclone, but his opponent didn't. Look at this. Stim almost done already. First 2 Medivacs are out. Charge isn't even done yet. Hell, it isn't even close to being done. Now we're seeing a worker cut, but I think this worker cut should have been done at maybe 48 or 47. I mean, you can't just go back up to 53 after you lose 7 workers for basically nothing, a Reaper and a Hellion. It's extremely expensive. The Reaper and the Hellion are scouting units. They're not intended to kill something. They're not really a harassment unit. The Phoenix is both. It scouts and it harasses. And the Reaper can sometimes achieve a lot, but it's not supposed to. We now have a landed Viking, which is forcing these Phoenixes to come back. Without any map vision, I mean, these force fields are going to be extremely important. Put down a couple of force fields here. Trap not paying attention, however, and all of these Marines are just gonna straight walk in. Guardian Shield gets cast, but that guard, yeah, it just got sniped. GG. Cure wins game number 1. Very nice strategy and beautiful control of these early 2 units. Really, the Reaper and the Hellion won in the game. And showing once again with what you can do with very little units if you just control them well. Let's hop into game number 2 here in this best of 5. Game number 2 between Cure and Trap. So once again, we have Cure just staying at home with his first SCV. Not much of a proxier, at least not today. Sometimes he does love the proxy. He has these days, you know. If you have a bad day, and then you proxy your Rex on the other side of the map. It's allowed. I'll allow it. Everyone allows it. But not today. Cure's playing he's playing well. He's on fire. Trap really needs to tighten up a little bit if he wants to remain competitive in this series, because that last game wasn't it. Of course, we can praise Cure with his good Reaper control and his solid Hellion harass, but it's also on Trap not to take damage against these units. That's also what is very important. As a Protoss, you can say no more. You can leave your Adepts at home, but Trap playing a more aggressive style here in that last game with those first 2 Adepts, losing a lot of map control with that. Basically not having that check on your opponents, like, hey, you need to keep some units at home, you need to be ready. Don't forget that it also adds on pressure together with the Phoenixes. If there's 3, 4 Adepts at your opponent's natural, and you have the Phoenixes flying around, all of a sudden there is 2 opportunities for damage. You can walk in with Adepts while shading out, maybe snipe an SCV or 2 or kill a Marine. This forces your opponent to respond differently. And Cure has all these little triggers. Maybe if he hadn't killed those 2 Adepts, he would have gone for double Cyclone and double Viking, or play a triple CC build, but that wasn't the case here. We now see the factory coming down and a Marine opener out of Cure without a scout and straight factory. We'll see the second depot go down. Oh, actually, second bunker before the second depot. Excuse me. Second bunker, reactor. Then we get a second depot. That's what this SCV is for. Beautiful stuff here. I've seen Beyond even take a second gas at like 2 minutes. I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm not completely familiar with how that works, but we see Cure not doing it, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll need to ask someone about that. On the other hand, we have a Twilight Council. Before the second unit, Adept opener out of Trap one more time. This is one of the things that I really appreciate about Trap. I appreciate him a lot. First of all, if you're watching Trap, big shout out. Oh, I was gonna say, I love that he very often opens up Adept. No matter his opener, to make it very difficult. But this time he actually opened up with a Stalker, hoping for his opponent to not have a bunker. Sadly for him, wasn't the case, so he's just gonna go home, playing it safe, and he's gonna be scouting with this adept instead. Now, the thing that Cure did here, this might look inconsequential, the fact that he got a marine, a factory, and then a reactor, but this allows him to have a way faster medevac. Look at the timing of this medevac. It's gonna be out at what, 3:45 maybe? It's gonna be on the other side of the map at 4:08, 4:09 on a map like Romance side, maybe 4:10, depending a bit where he wants to fly in. That is a very fast timing, and it also means that Blink won't be done yet. No matter how many Chrono Boosts you're going to be investing into Blink, you're simply not going to be able to get it out. Here this adept is shading forward, looking for some information. Doesn't quite find it. The only info he gets is that there's no info for him to be gathered. You have 3 gateways. Is this a 3-gate Blink or a 4-gate Blink? We don't see a 4th gateway yet, so far it's going to be a 3-gate Blink. Nexus about to be built as well, no second gas yet. Here comes that mine drop. It's a little bit later than I anticipated. 4:10, 4:15. It's gonna hit maybe around 4:25-ish with a boost. Trap is completely out of position. Trap is unaware that his opponent went marine into factory, I think. And he's expecting a 4:45 drop. Look at this! Trap is simply too late. He was too slow. This is a huge deal. This is almost game. This is almost game because this allows all of these mines to shoot and all of... Oh my good lord. 12 workers going down immediately here and all of the mines get saved as well. Will be brought into the back. This is awful here for our good friend Trap. Oh no. Blink has finished. Immortal on the way. Nexus on the way as well, but Trap is just down 10 workers. It's 51 supply against 70. There's 4 Stalkers here. 4. What's this Immortal gonna do? Perhaps try to tank some tank shots, but there's so many Marines as well. And if there's too many Marines, the Immortal tends to be a lot more useless. Oh, this is so painful. These three mines in the medevac are still annoying as well. So right now what Cure wants to do is he wants to set up some type of attack with a Raven and a tank. He's just gonna go for a single tank. Doesn't feel like he needs to add a second tank for more safety. No, he says, I think I can just play it like this. And I think I agree with him. I really do think I agree with him. We have an Observer on the way right now. Trap is still down in workers. This is so painful. Look at the difference in income here. 2,900 minerals, 2,600 minerals against 1,800. Trap is on 3 bases already. He's cutting workers at 45 while he's down 2 workers because he knows in order to survive the first push, he's going to need a miracle. And that miracle will need to come in a lot of gateway units. How many? Ooh. This is cool. He's gonna go for a prism, potentially for a counterattack. While he's being attacked, defend with Stalker Sentry, attack with the prism. That is a very cool move that often works. Skipping Forge entirely doesn't feel like he can afford it. I agree with this analysis. This is the proper analysis that Trap is making. Trap, a little bit unlucky there in the early game, or unlucky, not quite realizing what happened. That he kind of did get juked there. This is a dead Observer. Cure's paying attention. Cure wasn't paying attention. Doesn't want to waste any more time with his Raven. Says, hey, I think I have a really tight timing here. He's already kind of missing it, I have to admit. I'm surprised by that. If his Stim and Combat Shield had finished over here, I think he just straight up wins the game. Now there's still a possibility. We have a couple of Stalkers moving out. Oh no, did Trap miss this move out? No way, right? Trap is completely out of position for this. Ideally, he'd be a little bit more positioned here. Now he realizes it. Gonna start moving in. This drop moves in. Let's see if Trap is quick enough. No real response out of Trap. 1 Stalker goes down. Oh my god, 8 more workers go down. Cure could return back home, but Cure says, I don't think I need to. I think I can just move out and kill you. At least forces a super battery immediately. There's still an interference matrix remaining as well. All of these mines have gone down. The medevac has gone down, but there's no units remaining. And Cure once again, within 7.5 minutes, takes out Trap and picks up the game here on Romanticide. Cool strategy. Very beautiful, very nice execution of the builds, and that's just the thing. The execution is so clean that Trap is struggling with it. As Cure right now on match point, we'll be heading into the potentially final game of this best of 5. Oh. Cure. After I said you're such a solid, consistent, beautiful player, sending out your first SCV like this hurts me in a certain way. I have to admit it does hurt me. It's going to be going... is it here or... Oh. This is an interesting position. I haven't seen this position before. Does this get scouted? No way. Look at this. This is where the barracks is. This is the closest. It's literally a pixel. This is literally a... This is so frustrating. Oh my god. Cure with the pixel perfect positioning here. You could say, well, why didn't he just build it further down here? Because in that case, the probe that walks like this probably sees it. That is such a beautiful position of that first barracks. Oh my god. Haha! He knew! Trap knew the positioning. Oh, there's also going to be an eBay block. This is a Reaper into... Proxy Reaper into eBay block. This is one of the best builds in my opinion. So what this does is, it forces out a Zealot from the Protoss, which is something they often don't want to build. They're forced to build it in this case, and that freaking sucks. I can tell you that. This sucks. This sucks if you're a Protoss player. Pylon aggressively. Okay, we're gonna be getting a very odd game here. I'm curious to see how Trap will handle this. We'll be pushing out a Stalker. Yep. Now the Zealot needs to start chasing the Reaper, and that eBay is never gonna go down. Extremely frustrating here. Reaper dishing out a crap ton of damage. I think we'll be able to get at least 2 probes. Of course, with Cure's micro, it can always be 3 or 4. He's gonna dive in a little bit deeper. Surround. Gets the surround. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. 3 workers have gone down in total. The Pioneer has been cancelled. This guy is still alive, though. Yes, the Stalker's gonna straight up move across the map. I don't actually like that because the factory is so fast. It's gonna be a reactor on the factory. That is surprising to me. That means it's going to be 2 cars. This Reaper is gonna return home. But it also means he's gonna send the Reaper across the map. Okay. Alright. This is interesting because Hellions will not be able to defend a Stalker and a Zealot that well. It's mine. I really like this. In my head I was completely stuck on Hellions, but mine is cool. So the problem with the Cyclone often is, let me tell you this, the problem with the Cyclone is that you invest a lot in a unit that's not going to be too useful for the rest of the game. But with mines, you can just load them up in your medevac. You're gonna go 4 mines anyway. Just drop those. Oh my god, here comes the double burrow. Potentially gonna get a unit? No. I guess that's the advantage with a Cyclone, is that you can get a unit. But, I mean, TOS also, most TOSes at least, aren't complete idiots. So they will be able to figure out, hey, there's a Cyclone on the way, and they'll pull back. So I much prefer the mine solution here. Now, Trap also wasn't born yesterday. He realized, hey, wait a second, that's a reactor. I'm gonna play Stargate, and I think he's just going to end up saving up a couple of Phoenixes. The problem is that I don't think he's gonna have enough Phoenixes ready by the time this mine drop arrives. This mine drop is gonna arrive really quickly, because let's not forget about it. This came from a Reaper with a double gas, which means that the factory is very fast. This is once again a 424 mine drop. Ooh, single mine is gonna walk into the natural. I love this so much. This would have been even sicker had an armory been built. If there was an armory and you walk in a mine into the natural, I think it's one of the best moves you can do. Look at that. Look at that shift command there. Look at that shift command. Here comes the mine drop. Uh-oh. Come on, Trap. This time at least give me a response. Oh no. 2, 6. This is extremely painful. Mine drop in the natural did manage to get saved, as we have this medevac well, he's not quite sure what to do either. I can't blame him. 7 workers have gone down on the side of Trap, and once again Cure with a fantastic start. It feels like Cure's early game is just so ridiculously good. Almost feels unfair how much better he is than his opponents. This mine is going to get taken out. eBay is on the way, mules are getting dropped, and once again we have our Raven tank combination. And we already have Stim on the way as well. Tank shot, can we get a bomb? Can we get a bomb? Can we get a... Oh yes, we can. Third barracks on the way immediately as well as the second tank is out. There is something here that, yep, I was going to say, that a lot of the Korean tosses tend to do, is when they take a bit of damage and they open Phoenixes, rather than saying, hey, I'm going to be teching up, they continue building gateway units and they continue building Phoenixes. They go in with a high Phoenix count, a high gateway unit count, they lift the tanks and kill all the Marines on the ground, and here we are going to go, no. These units need to be downstairs. If the units aren't downstairs, I don't think Trap can fight. And now there's a Raven, oh my god, this is absolute hell. Turret being built in the natural. That's at least 2 probes that will be going down, perhaps even 3, and another one will end up going down in the main. I can feel it. No, it's gonna happen in the natural. Look at his little semi-wall turret as well. Cure is playing so safe and so solid. This Phoenix is going to try to take it out, but not before this auto turret will get constructed. And once again, 3 workers will go down. 6 workers gone down on the side. 17 workers have fallen in total here. The Reaper, the Mine Drop, and now the Raven. It's a triple punch, and every single shot managed to hit. Every jab was a big hit, and Trap definitely is feeling this. Twilight Council going down after Stim is done is, well, painful isn't even the word. It's excruciatingly painful. Mine production is starting here as well, and once again take a look at the composition here that Cure is going for. Very heavy on the Marines, even though he has 2 tech labs, of course, for those upgrades. Only Marines are being constructed. Tanks there as well. It's kind of an anchor for this army composition. And a couple of mines to help out against any charge lots. There's not even a 3rd base yet for Trap. Trap has been doing all of this off of 2 base. He needs to because he doesn't have the money to get gateways and a 3rd base. He doesn't even have money to get gateways. 2 gateways done right now. 2 more on the way. Phoenix is out. I love this movement. Trying to check behind his opponent's army to see if there's any reinforcements. This forces Cure to keep all of his reinforcements at home and maybe potentially reinforce with a medevac, but it's also dangerous if the Phoenixes are flying there. Let's see if Trap is going to be capable of defending here. No charge, Stims forward, and yep, the 3rd base is going to get cancelled. Cure is going to keep marching forward as Trap is in a world of trouble. Templar Archives is being started right now. 2 more pylons on the way as Trap is walking into a supply block. Here we see the Phoenixes once again going for that similar maneuver, making sure that there's no reinforcements coming to this army, and then eventually hopefully cleaning up this army. The funny thing is this is just a small part of Cure's army, but that part is already too big for Trap to deal with. And that of course is an issue. Here comes the Stim forward. 1 Phoenix gonna go down. 2nd Phoenix taking a lot of damage, but won't end up falling. I pity Trap so much. Very rough early games here in this entire best of 5. I'm right now on the verge of defeat, elimination, and humiliation. Well, losing 3-0 to Cure, of course, is nothing to be humiliated by, but or about, be embarrassed about. But it is going to happen as Cure stims another time. GG gets called, and Cure takes this series relatively easily. 3-0 against, in my opinion, the best TVP player currently in the world. But in my opinion, Cure also is one of the best TVP players himself. So, not a complete surprise. Alright, that's going to be it for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you were entertained. Although the games weren't very close. I think the games were good, especially from the Terran side. If you're a Protoss fan, I do apologize. Thanks everyone for watching, and bye-bye. Smash like.